I had met Jerry Van Dyke. He was performing in Phoenix on New Year's Eve, and we were with some friends. My wife and I were with some friends, and they all goaded me into going up and meeting him. And I said, I have nothing to offer him. I said, I don't write stand-up. And they said, you should just go meet him anyway. So I during a break in his show, I stayed for both shows, so during a break in the second show, I did go up and meet him. And then he asked me, he says, you know, what do you do? And I said, I'm a writer. And he says, have you ever sold anything? And I said, yes. And I hadn't sold writing, but I had sold clothes, and I'd sold encyclopedias, I'd sold insurance. So I said, yeah, I sold stuff. So he asked me he says, drop off some material at my hotel. And I had nothing to give him. So I went home and spent 4 hours writing material for him. And dropped it off at his hotel at 6 o'clock the next morning. I didn't know Jerry got up early, and at 7 o'clock he called me and said, I just read this. He says, I said, I've been looking for 20 years for somebody that does this. So invited me back out. At any rate, he started showing my work around, because I had written spec scripts and things like that. And he showed my work to Jim Brooks, who in turn showed it to Ed Weinberger and Stan Daniels and Dave Davis. And the day they left MTM to form their own company at Paramount, it was in the paper that morning, and they literally called me that night in Phoenix and said, we want you to be a part of what we're doing. So they brought me over. It was a little unbelievable, but that's the way it happened.
And did they bring you for a specific show?
They had no show at the time. It turned out that the first show we did was a musical for ABC called Cindy, which was set in World War II, which was sort of a Cinderella story. It was a little bit like The Wiz, but at any rate, it was a special for them. But the first series was Taxi, which they created, and so that was the first thing I did. But they really brought me over just to be a part of the company. They didn't know at the time what they were going to do.